Hey, yo, what's good with it, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Wilson. And you are now tuned in to Wilson Block 100 Radio. And today we got comedian Matt Lewis on the block with us today. What's good with it?
We're doing it.
Yes, sir.
Doing it. 66.
Thank you. In the house. You know what I'm saying? Glad to have you here for this exclusive interview with the Wilson Block. How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Excited to do this. Excited to see you again, man. It's been a couple years, man.
Yeah, man. It's been like since 2013. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, yeah.
Shout out Pokey Low, you know.
Oh, dude, yeah, man. You guys flow.
No doubt.
Yeah.
That was back during the haters' favorite days. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody
but yeah, man. So for our audience listening, man, can you just give us a quick background on yourself?
Well, I'm a stand-up comedian. That's my primary profession.
Right.
Act, produce. Been doing stand-up comedy since 2008. Been doing it professionally. We had to make that transition. That's always a challenge. 2011.
Okay.
And yeah, man. Just I was going to be in Pasadena anyway, and yeah, I got a show, and got to come out here and see you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what else should I tell you about myself?
Well, no, we saw that you were, trying to. I mean, you've been doing your own podcasting.
Yeah.
We thought it was necessary to have you on the show. Yeah. Especially because we already knew who each other. Why are we even Facebook friends?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude, we got some of those. We got some of those randoms. It was just like, what? Did I used to like her?
Right. You got those Facebook friends where it's like, you guys don't know each other, but you like share a lot of the same shit. So like you're cool. Like
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I got into Facebook, man. I remember I got into Facebook. I was MySpace first. I'm that old.
Right.
And I was like 2003 or 4 because I'd moved to California. Yeah, I was from Oklahoma, and I was just like, oh wow, all my high school friends, because MySpace was knocking it early, man, and I was just like, oh wow, that's a girl I used to date. That's a girl I used to date. That's a dude I used to play football with. That's a dude I used to ride the bus with, and I was just like, oh wow, he's got kids. Wow, that's something. And I was a big MySpace. I was like one of those Insta adders person. It was just like. I was just like, man.
The friends list had to be max.
Yeah, and it was just so I could, on family and stuff like that. Right. Oh man, but yeah, now
So when Facebook came around, it was just like
it was natural. It was natural. I was Candy Crush. I was big on that. There was one. It was like Tetris. I can't remember the name of it right now. We'll probably come up with it by the end of this. But yeah, I was a big nerd. I'm kind of a people collector. I won't lie, man. Yeah.
No doubt. So I hear you said you grew up in Oklahoma. So you were born in Oklahoma?
Yeah, it's weird. My parents are from Redondo Beach. Okay. And they went to high school together.
Right.
And then they moved to Oklahoma in the 70s. My father was just like, he's like, I'm only going to be on this earth so long. I don't want to sit in traffic. Yeah. And there's no traffic in Oklahoma because nobody wants to be there. Right. No, just playing. That's nice. No, just playing. But no, we grew up on a farm. I grew up on like a hippie my mom was California. Mm-hmm. We had like a hippie organic farm. We had we had a cat. We raised our own cattle. We had pigs. We had chickens. We had bees. We made our own honey. We had like a football field-sized vegetable garden. Wow. And we'd can and trade. And my first job was I always had to feed the chickens every night. Like we'd feed them all our table scraps, like kind of keep it organic, like coffee grinds, watermelon rinds, orange peels, banana peels, that kind of thing. Yeah. And then I would sell chicken eggs to the neighbors. But I was country, but it was just like I was born in Oklahoma, but LA's my home. Right. And it's just one of those. It was just one of those things where.
So when did you move out?
Well, I always came out during the summers because my grandparents were out here. Right. And my cousins, who I live with one of them now. Okay. And so like every summer I was out here, so it was not like
unfamiliar territory. Right.
I moved out full time in 2004. Initially, when I moved out, was nothing about comedy, man. I was a sports writer.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
analyst.
I would cover games. And
nice.
You could only get up so far, and we had a radio show. It was like high school football. It was like it's like there's like religion, and then there's like football religion out there, and that was I've always been I think I became a sports fan. My dad he still is. He's a super big nerd. Mm-hmm. But we used to restore Mustangs. Oh, wow. 64 Mustangs, 65 Mustangs. and he had a gold convertible '66 Mustang, and we would always be in like homecoming parades, and we always had the homecoming girl and a football player there, and I was just like, I want to start sitting next to these homecoming queens. So I got into football, man, and my dad would come out, but he wouldn't. He would be like, so he would be like, what inning is it? You know, he'd like jumping up, slam dunk. I love my dad. It was always the weirdest thing with him. He would we go to church.
Well, he had to act like he cared.
Well, no, he didn't care. He cared about me, but he didn't care about the game. And you know, it was. And my mom would have to tell him, you know, like what's going on with, you know, what the score was and that kind of thing. It was cute. There was one of my funniest memories. My dad would be like, he'd have to make small talk at church with everybody else, and it was like January. Someone was like, "So, Ron, who do you think's gonna win the Super Bowl?" I remember one time he said Nebraska, because they were like, it's like Nebraska usually has a good team, and it's like a big college team,
right?
And it was just. That was the first time I ever saw side-eye given to my dad. And it was like in a Sunday morning church, people drinking coffee and donuts, and they were just like, cool. And I was just like, wow, I don't ever...
dropped it.
Yeah. They were just, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, sure, Nebraska, right.
Yeah, Nebraska's good, yeah.
So what was it that led you to becoming a comedian?
I grew up listening. My parents were both big in comedy, like comedy albums and stuff. Because that was what you used to do. You used to listen to records. About records. Right.
Radio was big.
Yeah.
Well, I know, like not that long ago, but
like in the '70s and '80s, we had those LPs, and like I remember we had all Bill Cosby stuff.
Talking about vinyls.
Yeah, vinyl. Yeah. And let's see, who else? Who else would they do? Like George Carlin. We always watched George Carlin and Robin Williams when the HBO specials came out. And I think my first person that got me that I picked on my own comedic wise was Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, really?
He used to do those parody songs, you know, like Michael Beat It, Eat It, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, that guy, yeah, I've seen that one.
And another one, Rides the Bus, another one, Bites the Dust.
Wow,
you know, he would take the hottest songs and just goof on them. And everybody was cool with it. It was just like, and I was just like, oh, that's kind of funny, man.
Wow.
And that was probably the first one I picked out on my own.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of like motivated you, like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah, and then like growing up watching like funny movies, I think a lot of Eddie. I was at the right age for Eddie Murphy, and like I remember, God, I'm trying to think of Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop, where I was just like that Axel Foley laugh. And you know, it was just one of those things. Saturday Night Live, we used to watch that with John Lovitz and Dana Carvey. They would just Phil Hartman. They would just crack on the president and stuff like that. It was just fun, man. Right. It was just chill. Now another thing about comedy. My dad, he likes comedy, but he never laughs. And I remember he laughed maybe 3 times ever. I've seen him in the last 3 decades. One of them was at Blazing Saddles, that Mel Brooks movie. And the second one was UHF, which was like a low rent movie. And the third one was Bad Santa. Well, my father laughs. I think it was when it was Spaceballs, maybe, I don't know. They said we need to comb the desert looking for him, and everybody's dragging these combs through the desert. And then they had these black troopers come through, and they didn't have a comb, they had a pick. And they go, we ain't found shit. And for some reason, that just hit my dad, and he almost threw his back out laughing. He would lose his breath. He would fall off the couch. His face would go red. The second one was UHF. There was like he was chewing them out. He said, "What would my their TV station was going down." He's like, the other guys found it. What would my great grandfather say? Who founded this station? We're getting beat by a UHF station. What would he say if he was alive today? One of the other guys looks at the other one and goes, "Help! Let me out of this box! I can't breathe in here! Help!" And it was just like one of those stupid things. And my dad just lost it. Bad Santa, when Tony Cox, Billy Bob Thornton, and the kid, the Bad Santa, when they're in the boxing ring and they all just start punching each other in the nuts. Yeah, that was another one, man. And it was just...
Oh, the kid kicked him in the balls,
Yeah, kicked him in the balls, and then the midget just jumped there, hit stuff, and all he could hit him was just straight in the basket, man. And,
that did it for him.
That did it for him, and it was just like, I think I've been chasing that. I've been trying to throw my dad's back out and lose his breath. That's my goal in life, is to hurt my father through comedy. Is that dark enough for you?
Right. That's a cool goal.
But no, that and I love George Carlin because he would always like say like some poignant stuff, but he would rhyme it and he would just go at it, and he had like so much written. And it wasn't that it was just funny. It was smart too, and I was just like, oh, how do I do that? And it turned out, and like getting in trouble in school and stuff. But
right.
Figured out a way to make a little money off this.
Right, no doubt.
So yeah.
So how do you come up with new material? I mean, where do you get that fire from?
Well, I mean, like everybody, they say. I heard my friend Ed Galvez, real funny comedian. He said this phrase, and I guess he's the first person I said it. I heard say it, but I think other people said it. Said comedy is time plus tragedy. Like if you went through something rough and then you got through it and you look back at it and you laughed at it, that's comedy.
Okay.
And tragedy plus time equals comedy. And like you can see that in like a lot of like really good comics. Like one of my favorite guys, another one I discovered on my own. Not really discovered. I mean. Right. Chris Rock.
Okay, no doubt.
He, I mean, you know what he looks like, little scrawny guy, and he, I don't know if you know the story of him. He was in New York in the 70s, and they were integrating the schools. He was at a decent neighborhood, and he got bussed out to like Everybody Hates Chris, to like this, rough ass Italian neighborhood where they really didn't want him there. And he's a scrawny guy, so he's mouthy as shit. Right. And he learned how to make people laugh so they wouldn't want to beat him up. That was his defense mechanism. Wow. And it worked out pretty well.
Well, I mean, that's where they got the concept for the show.
Yeah, it was real.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it was real.
I think it was a great show.
Oh, yeah, it was silly. It was funny. It was great. And like I remember, I was always smart, but I was also smart aleck too. Yeah. So like I get my homework done, and I get my schoolwork done, and then crack on people. But that was my way of, giving them a hug. Right. Not like I didn't run around giving people hugs. I was just like,
right. I like saying hello.
I like you, so I'm gonna mess with you. Right. Yeah.
Well, in high school, and not to make this type of analogy, but in high school, look, if the girl hits you, it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so, on the playground and stuff.
Even if it's hard.
Yeah, nobody knows how to express themselves. You know? Yeah, right. We're all stupid. One day I'll figure out how to express myself appropriately. But that's. So how I come up with stuff now is, I do smoke weed. That helps. That's just one thing that I like. It gives you a different perspective on it. My brain's always working, and sometimes my brain's working too fast. If I hear something, here's another one. One of the funniest things I thought I ever heard. I had, and this is one of the times where I knew I had something. I had surgery, and I was in stitches. I had a hernia from work, lifting something stupid, being dumb. And I was laid out on the couch, and this was 2000, and we were watching CNN. Me and my mom were watching CNN, and it was like gay marriage was the first. It wasn't gay marriage; it was gay adoption, and they were talking about it, and they were like, we're gonna, and they were like,
so gay couples be able to adopt.
Gay couples, right. And they were gonna have like a cross-point, counterpoint kind of conversation about it. And they were like going into a commercial. They had the lead, and they said, now we're gonna see why some people are up in arms about gays rearing children. And rearing, and me and my mom looked at each other, and she didn't want to laugh because she didn't want me to hurt myself because I couldn't laugh. Oh, damn. But that was just like one of those memories where I was just like, I wrote that down, and I remember when the day it happened, I was just like, it was like my second day at the hospital, and I was just like, I love little plays on words where everybody would hear one thing, and I'm like, what about this? Right. And I got to think that like the editor or something like that had his mind. Somebody was screwballing with the Anchorman, like that movie Anchorman,
Exactly. Exactly. So. What was I gonna say?
Yeah.
How do you produce the material?
How I produce?
No, we just talked about that.
Well,
but
my writing technique is weird. It's not like a lot of comics. I know a lot of comics who just like wake up in the morning and just write stuff down. You know, like Eminem, 8 Mile kind of.
Right.
Or and I'm not a strong writer. I don't write that well.
You gotta live a little bit.
What I do is I have conversations with people, and like somebody who I get on the right vibe with, and like that's where I write most of my material through conversation, because to me I'm going to be saying it audibly. I'm going to be saying it orally.
Right.
So that's kind of where and it's a lot of people think it's weird, but it's worked out all right for me. You know? And
so far.
So sometimes whenever I have a verbal joke, I try to put it like on Facebook or Twitter or something like that. It doesn't always hit. But the same joke will hit live.
Right.
And because I'm not a traditional writer. I mean, I create it, but I don't do it the way it's
traditionally done.
It weirds a lot of people out.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever works, man.
Yeah.
Some people like mustard, some people like ketchup. You know?
Right. Well, you know, there's some people that know how to play music but not read music. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
Like that, you know?
Yeah. It just everybody has their own skill set, and but
and it's all about the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can connect, like you say, get on that vibe. You know what I'm saying? That's how you can enter people. You know what I'm saying? That's how you can influence the people. You know? What I mean?
and you know, if they're feeling it, they're feeling it. You know, I'm not for everybody. It's cool.
Right. Now, me personally, and this is just, you know, me giving my piece.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like it when comedians, you know, resort to explicit sex jokes for the duration of their segment.
There's a place for it. There's a place for it.
Right.
But if that's all you got, I mean,
it comes off as weak.
I mean, I could have. There's some jokes that like comedians only tell other comedians.
Right.
And some of those are like, and you know, it can get kind of dark with that kind of stuff. But I'm not a big filth guy. I mean, I think it may part of it being from Oklahoma, Bible Belt. And
I mean, there's a lot of
church.
There's a lot of stuff that's just naturally funny.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Like relatable stuff.
Right.
You know, like, and I don't know if it's but like I've never been like real graphic about like sexual stuff, but I mean, if a like that rearing children joke, I mean that something just comes out. That's more play on words than anything. And I think a lot of people are really embarrassed about sex. The comics that even do that, they're embarrassed about it, and that's how they cope with it. Is trying to but I mean, I'm not in their head, you know.
Right.
There's a place for it, and you know, like, some people are into it, and you're not, and that's completely cool, you know.
Right.
You know, some people like banjo music, you know, and there's an audience for it, you know. But I don't see you going to a banjo concert, you know. And it's not like you're like, oh, they're horrible. It's just not your thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No doubt. So tell me about the performance circuit, man. I know you've been getting around, you know what I mean, all over SoCal.
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, it's weird. For the first 6 months of 2016, I was in Oklahoma. I was working on a political campaign. That was just completely screwball. And I couldn't really get up much. And it was really frustrating for me. There was places to do it, but like I've been in Southern California for 8 years, and it's just like when I first started, open mics, and like open mics would be like in the back of a sandwich shop or back of a bar or something like that. And I was fortunate where I had a day job that dropped me off at Sunset La Brea at 5:30 every day, and it was my first 2 years where you're going up 15, 20 times a week, and it was. Screw your family, screw your friends, screw your girlfriend, whatever. We're doing this, and I was around a lot of people that were like, who now are like really popping, and I'm like, and a lot of us put that time in. A lot of us put that time in. Like they have their own TV shows now, like and they got started with like Gerard Carmichael. It's got the Carmichael Show on NBC. Brian Moses and Rel Battle, they created the show. It's like the roast battle. It's on Comedy Central now.
Okay.
And Rel's on a show called Superior. It's called Superior Donuts. I was around these guys. Josh Adam Myers. These guys worked their butts off, and it was just grinding, grinding.
Right.
Guys having TV appearances. They're on Last Comic Standing. They're getting Jamar Neighbors. He was in that Keanu movie. He was Stitch's character in Keanu.
Oh, no doubt.
And it's just one. It's just what. It's just, and it's so. But like performing wise, it was around 2011 I started getting road gigs.
Okay.
I remember my first paid gig actually. I remember my first paid gig. It was I got paid $10, which was gas money basically, to go to San Pedro, and they were having it's called the Brouhaha Comedy Festival. It was craft beer and some goof movie like Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then they had us tell jokes in between. And like I remember two or three of the guys was like Colin Beck, he's in New York now, and Willie Hunter, who writes for the Carmichael Show, and it was and Melissa Villaseñor, who like she was on it. She got to the finals of America's Got Talent. She's the first Latina SNL cast member now.
Oh damn!
And it was just like I was around people that sharpened me,
right.
And it was just one of those things where you just wanted to. I wanted to impress them,
right?
And I wanted to. It was we're gonna get some new jokes out, because I was with this one dude, Angelo Bowers, who was gonna be like the next Zach Galifianakis, like the Hangover guy,
right.
And he was just one of those dudes who was just a machine with just writing one-liners, and it was like I always wanted to. So yeah, there was those kind of guys that just pushed me, and like this. Pressure makes diamonds.
Absolutely.
Like if you look at. I'm a big hip hop fan. If you know, I don't know if you know this, but like Jay-Z, Busta Rhymes, and Chuck D, and Tracy Morgan, weirdly enough, all went to the same high school around the same time.
Really?
And it was. I remember Jay-Z lost his first rap battle against Busta Rhymes.
What?
Yeah.
Before they even hit big.
Well, they were sophomores in the cafeteria.
Wow.
And it was just like somebody like that pushes him, and they just kind of it just sort of
fed off each other.
Exactly, the energy, and they were like, and that's kind of the culture I think that breeds success. Is
Absolutely.
If you're around people that you want to impress, you're going to work harder to figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how things got with me.
No doubt. So what?
Did you want a one-word answer? Sorry.
Oh, right now. But I did want some venues.
Oh, venues. Let's see. Does this come out tonight? Let's see. I do a monthly show here in town. It's at the Lexington. It's downtown LA. It's a storytelling show, but a lot of comics. It's about Uber drivers, people that drive Uber, or Lyft, or anything like that. Because I did that for like 6 months, and it was the longest 3 years of my life. Those 6 months. Don't ever. No. But like telling stories about like their craziest Uber passengers and stuff like that. Do that. A couple weeks ago, there's a Flappers Comedy Club in Claremont. That was fun. I did that tonight, or what is it, 7th, 8th tonight? I'm doing a show in South Pass at the Barclay. I think that's gonna be once. I think that's once a month. This girl Virginia Jones puts it on. It's a free show. I've been doing the Ice House. I get spots there about once every couple months. That's one of the greatest clubs, and that's one. I don't know if you know this.
In comedy,
it's one of the greatest. Yeah, I mean, like people like. LA is blessed with having a lot of good comedy clubs, but the Ice House is like it's legendary. Yeah, it's legendary. Everybody's happy there. They always have good comics. The staff is on point, and it's just it's not one of those. So there's one problem with some of the clubs in LA. They get kind of gougy, but the Ice House is
gougy with like drinks
and parking, and but they have the room here, so it works out, and it's a top class organization. Yeah. But like Comedy Store's great, Improv's great, Laugh Factory's great. I was there. We were handing out turkeys on Thanksgiving Day. Laugh Factory does that on Thanksgiving and Christmas every year. The owner, Jamie Masada. Great.
Nice. Oh, at the Ice House.
No, sorry, that's at the Laugh Factory. He does that. The Ice House does good things too. Right.
I sure hope so.
No, they hate people. No. Just kidding.
I hope they found that funny.
Yeah. Like scratched off a list. There we go.
All right, so
some out of town stuff. I have a booking agency that books me a lot. It's like kind of some weird gigs to some people, but I kind of like them. They're in the Northwest. A lot of them.
Like Seattle, Portland, that type.
Yeah,
of thing?
but like that would be funner.
Right.
But like I'm doing like I do a lot of these like these little like towns. It's like Klamath Falls, Oregon. You've never heard of.
Oh damn.
And Montana. It's weird. And you're going like Wednesday night you'll be here. Thursday night you'll be here. You drive a few hours and down the road, and it's not. It's such a culture shock from L.A. that Give me one sec. There we go. There you go. It's such a culture shock from L.A. It's weird that it's weird to find out what hits there and what doesn't hit.
Right.
And I remember one of my best gigs. One of my best. It was a 30-minute set.
Mm-hmm.
It was one that really surprised me that they were on board. It was Billings, Montana.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's like a town of like 100,000 people.
Right.
And it's like the place where people go to have fun in Montana.
Right.
But no, it was a nice venue, and it was just a really good energy in that place, and I never had a better. It's one of those sets you remember.
Right.
I remember the good
memorables.
ones. I'd been there. I went there last year, and it was just the complete opposite. So it was just one of those times where.
But how is it for getting paid? You do your own bookings.
I don't have a management company or anything. I have to wildcat a lot myself. And I've got a couple places that. What they do is they have rooms necessarily or nights. Like one guy just sent me thing, and his name is Roger Paul. He does a lot of like minor clubs, and he actually just sent it out today. It was a club about like an hour away from my hometown. And they have it's a casino, and they have a comedy club in the casino. I've been there before and done it before.
No doubt.
And it was just like, hey, these are the weekends I've got available. And so I was just like, whenever, cool, I can do this one, that one, I can't do that one, that kind of thing. So I'm on a lot of it's a lot of emails.
Yeah.
And then another thing is having an older comic, or somebody who's already in at a club, bring you to open for them, and they're like, "Oh, okay, this guy was cool," or, "Well, hey, yeah, keep going at it, buddy."
Right,
if they don't like you, just
keep shooting.
Yeah, you're getting better, buddy.
Right.
And sometimes that happens too.
Right,
It's not always. It's not once they see me, they're gonna love me.
Right.
It works out. I may have had a bad set. They may have, or their roster may be full of other comics. And
a lot of it's time and circumstance.
You always have to, you always have to be ready.
Yeah.
And that can be a trip, trying to pay your rent.
Yeah, off of it, right?
Yeah, and because I told you about driving Uber. Yeah, LA's good about having a side hustle.
Yeah.
And I do background work sometimes, and that's. I was on a show this week. It was a show I actually like. That was fun,
Okay.
But it's just a way to make some money. That
right.
Live performance and is what I love doing. I've done some plays. Those were fun. And I've acting in I've been writing my own sketches and doing that because I'm a big believer in. Everybody thinks that the old Hollywood dream, if I'm just eating coffee, if I'm drinking coffee at the right coffee shop, Steven Spielberg is going to see me,
right.
Or and it's just okay, well, you just keep playing those scratcher tickets,
right.
buddy.
One of them's going.
You gotta have your portfolio ready, in my opinion, and then you could start submitting, and then you could start being ready, and some of the sketches I did a few years ago, I'm like, oh God! But I needed to go through that to get to where I feel I'm better. I hope I'm better now.
I'd sure like to hope to think so.
I'm not regressing yet. Yeah.
No doubt. So tell me a little bit about some of the challenges. You know what I'm saying?
Challenges. You're in LA. If I walk into the Comedy Store, for example, I doubt I'm one of the 50 funniest people in the room, or the 50 most there'd be it could be Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., Bill Burr, Martin Lawrence could be there, whatever, I'm nobody compared to them.
Right.
But I'm okay with. I get that. I just like.
I mean, you respect where you're at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then it can be you can feel like you're banging your head against the wall sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just like but this is it. To me, it's like batting practice. It's just you like. I don't know if you watch baseball. I don't know. Who's hot? Like Pujols or whatever. If you Albert, pulling names out of my ass here. Yeah, I was a sports writer. Trust me. But like, just because like Albert Pujols is on the team doesn't mean the other guys don't have to practice and get their stuff ready.
Right.
What if he gets traded? What if he gets injured? What if he retires? You gotta be ready, and that's what you're doing. And you have the opportunity to see other people that are good.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to
soak some game up.
Yeah. Well, like, oh, that's a way to handle that. Or oh man, I never thought about a way to take that angle on it.
Right,
And it's just like, you don't want to bite their routine, but you're like, oh wow, that really opened my eyes on something.
Or the way they may put it.
Yeah, and LA is an expensive place. You always gotta have. You always gotta have. You always gotta have. You gotta eat. You want to. It's one of those things where you kind of learn the cheat code a little bit. You make the friends. You make the friends that that are supportive. I was somewhat fortunate where I have a lot of extended family here. But like you have people like, hey, somebody's moving out of my apartment. It's only like $700 a month, and you're like, whoa, that's a deal, the people that aren't going to see that in the newspaper ads,
right?
And or it was just like, you learn the shortcuts in traffic. I see so many people come out here and get frustrated. I was just like, give it time.
Right.
You find a job that works with you that you can, that you're like, hey, if you're busting your ass at work, they're like, hey, I got a show. Can I get off a half hour early? If you're one of those guys who was always on top of their stuff while you're there, they're like, all right, cool. One time, no problem. And they get it, but if you were just, scratching your balls all day at work,
right.
They're like, yeah, screw you. But so, that's been one of those things where you always gotta keep the balls juggling.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you about the rewarding things, but it sounds like it's all rewarding.
I'm a positive guy. I'm a lot more positive.
I mean, you take it all in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and you fucking have fun with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it just, this is what I'd rather be doing. I worked doing accounting right out of college.
Okay.
And
so QuickBooks and all that shit.
Yeah, and that's real fun and fascinating stuff. No, I mean, it can be like financially rewarding, but it wasn't like. It was a round hole in a square peg for me. There's people that are great at it, and I was good at it, and but it wasn't my passion.
Right. Hey, listen, man.
Yeah.
I commend you on that because, I'm a young dude, man. The best advice that I have for anybody is to pursue what you love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just based off of the fact that you take the time to pursue what you love, this is what you'd rather be doing.
Yeah.
This is what you're good at.
Yeah.
That's everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You
gotta, like Steve Harvey said, you got to take that leap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to get uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
You have to get uncomfortable. I mean,
listen, when you went to Montana, dude, you've never been there before up until then, right?
See, I don't ever look at things like that. I was just like, oh, this will be fun. This will be chill.
Right.
I see pictures, and it was pretty. And I got a weird story, man. Can I tell you that?
Yeah.
Montana story. So I was worried with this girl. Her name is Lady.
So Mount St. Helena or St. Helena.
Mount
right?
St. Helens.
St.
I think that's in Seattle.
No, maybe the mountain, but Helena, Montana,
that's
right?
that's the capital. Yeah.
Okay,
Helena.
right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You're right. Yeah, you got the two cross.
Right.
It makes sense. It's cool.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So we did. I was gonna do 3 nights in Montana, and then I was gonna take a train to Seattle and do 3 more nights in Washington. And so we did this place, Missoula, Montana was Tuesday night, and then we had Wednesday off, and then Thursday was Butte, Montana, and then Billings, and that was a great place. And then we did this Saturday night gig in Glasgow, Montana, and it's like a weird town. It's like, I don't know if you know about the oil fields they found up there. So like it's all new money. And it's like a town of 2,000 people, and they have this brand new casino built, and they have a monthly comedy show. And you go there, and I may as well be Chris Rock. You know what I mean? It's just like you go to a town like that, you're like the rock star. It's weird. Elvis. It's weird. Yeah, Elvis. You know, you're the Beatles.
Right.
You know, it's weird. And they had I was looking back, it was a pretty good set, but I had this one table that was just they had round 8-seat tables, you know, and this one table was just they were heckling and just kind of giving me shit. And I let it get to me, and it was just one of those things that it train wrecked my set a little bit. And it was, but I got through. I was only doing 30 minutes, and
how did you deal with it?
I got a little frustrated. I won't lie, and I was just like it. They were the kind of people they were heckling.
Like they were killing the jokes before you could even drop the bomb.
You couldn't pause because they would fill in the time, and that's part of the listening part. And they were just dickheads, and it was frustrating. It was
got your feet wet.
It was everybody goes through it. Everybody had these. So this town had 2,000 people, and they had an Amtrak stop in this town. So next day, taking I'm waiting at the Amtrak stop. There's one other person that's getting on the train, and we're both going the same way. We're both going towards Seattle. He's going to Idaho. Anyway, we wound up sitting next to each other, and he was just like, "So what the hell are you doing here? I mean, I know why I'm here. I've never seen you before." It was like one of those things. And I go, I'm a comedian, and we did a show, and he's like, "Oh, you must have been at the Cottonwood." And I was like, "Yeah, we were." And he was like, "Well, oh shit, check us out." And my buddy's the bartender up there. I'm like, "Oh, great, I'll relive this shit." And so he calls up, and he calls up his friend on the cell phone. He was just like, "You'll never guess who I'm sitting next to. I'm sitting next to one of the comedians." And I'm just like, I'm like rolling my eyes. I'm like, "Great, this is." He's a nice guy, and he's just like, "What? Oh, no, no, that's some bullshit. I'm gonna talk to him about this." So he's just like, "All right, so that table that was giving you all that shit, that was my ex-wife's family. You want to call them up right now?" It was like that small town. It was like that small, and I'm just weird. It was like everybody knew everybody.
Hold on, so you communicated with the promoter, and told him like, "Yo."
No, I didn't tell the promoter nothing. I mean, I told the promoter.
So the dude that had his people on the phone, how did he know about
the
table?
His buddy that he talked to on the phone was the bartender at that club.
And we saw it all.
Yeah. He was just like, "Oh yeah, they were being real dicks to the first guy," and and he was just, "Oh man, fuck them, man. Oh God, I hate Sheila's family, man. They're a bunch of assholes." But yeah, they fell into some money and they think they own the fucking town. You know, it was just like it was just weird little stories like that, man. I can't make that up. It was another thing that was weird. So we're taking a train. The train's line, it's an Amtrak line. It started in Chicago and it goes all the way to Seattle. And it was my first time on Amtrak. I'd never done it before. You ever done that?
Amtrak. No. I did Amtrak, but only state.
Yeah. So the train had started, and there aren't no showers on the train. So the people that had been riding from Chicago hadn't showered, and they'd been sitting on that train for a full day. Yeah. And it was just weird, man. But it was beautiful and stuff. But one thing that was really weird was you stop like for like 20 minutes and something like that. You get out, stretch your legs. You can walk around on the thing, but like go get some fresh air, you know. So I kind of befriended these two guys, and one was this black dude who was from New Orleans. He was going to Seattle to work in an oil field, and there was this white, and he was like in his 20s. He dressed kind of hip hop and stuff like that. And then there was this other dude who he looked like a professional hacky sack player. You know what I mean? He was just the white dude with the beard and the baggy pants and stuff like that. He was going to school in Seattle, and neither one of those two guys smoked weed, but I did, and I'm wearing just dressed like a normal ass Dockers commercial, basically. And I would go around the corner and just blaze up when we got out. And everybody, we would all be shotgunning cigarettes. The two of them would be shotgunning cigarettes. And the conductor, he didn't want anybody smoking weed, but the thing was, they thought it was them smoking all the weed because of how they looked, but they were like never gave me a second look, man. It was just like, I have that kind of undercoverness about me. I don't know, and because this guy looked like
he looked like the type.
He looked like a dude who always has a frisbee on him. You know, he looked like one of those kind of dudes. It was like named like Rainwater or something like that, or Starfish or some, It was, but yeah, that was just, and yeah, they were just like, they were eyeballing these two guys, and I'm just like, just breezing through, man, breezing through, man. Don't worry, I'm gonna fuck up that food cart in a second. But yeah,
that's a funny movie scene right there.
It was, it was real. It was what happened, man.
And speaking of movie,
movies.
We already talked about that, but let's talk more.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been fortunate. I had the opportunity to produce a couple movies.
Movies.
2 movies, yeah. One was a documentary. It's a story. My buddy, his name is Dan Nab. He's a comedian from Philadelphia. This is a guy you would probably be friends with. He walked from New York to Los Angeles.
Really?
Yeah. He was doing comedy on the way in places, and he just said, "Hey, I want to walk from New York to Los Angeles." And he's like, "Think I can do it?" So he worked all summer, saved up all his money, blah blah blah. Got some camping equipment, a couple hiking boots, and he made it and he walked it. He got all the way from New York City to
New Jersey.
No, he made it. That was the first day, but he made it to.
No, he's starting from where?
New York City.
Okay.
And he went through New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and then he made it to the Texas Panhandle where it sticks up, and that's whenever he was just like, whoa, I gotta tap out, and because the towns before then were like 20, 30 miles apart, so he could walk between one town in a day and find a place to stay or whatever. He did couch surfing, and then but by then it was getting like November. It was getting kind of cold, and he was just that much time, you're like Moses walking the earth. He tapped out. He's like, I'm done.
Okay, I had enough for this.
Yeah, but he always wanted to finish it, and I met him after he had stopped.
So he walked from New York City to the top of Texas.
Yeah, in like I think that was like 2 or 3 months.
That's how long it took?
Yeah, 20 miles a day, 1,200 miles.
20 miles a day.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. He would anyway. So he was like, if I do this again, when I finish this, I need someone to drive to go pick him up, and bring food or that kind of thing, and set up shots, and I did that, and like log tape, and it was just I handled like some of the logistic stuff, and he would stop at a mile marker, touch the mile marker, and at the end of the day, whichever one it was, and go back to that same mile marker and did everything. It's called a comedy trek. It's in post right now. It's gonna be pretty dope. What I've seen of it, I like it. Comedy Trek, TREK.
Okay.
And the other one I did was. That's a weird story. It's called Funny Fat Guy, and it's not about me, so don't say nothing. My neighbor in my apartment lived upstairs from me. His name was Ryan Pennington, and he had always been interested in stand-up comics. I think we got talking because we both smoked cigarettes, and then I hit him up to share Wi-Fi just to save $20 a month, not have to set it up my own.
Right.
He was just like, he wanted to save money too, so whatever. And about 3 or 4 months into our relationship, our friendship, he said, "Hey, I got a friend who wrote this script about stand-up comedy. Can you look at it and see if it makes sense about like some of the technical side of it?" And I was just like, he wanted me to look at one scene. I looked at the whole freaking movie because I'm a crazy maniac.
Well, you're gonna see what it
is. Yeah. And I was just like, oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. And then I was like, yeah, you can shoot that. And he was just like, we can? Oh yeah, you can. Yeah. He was because he had this guy Nick Snowden, who he wrote it. It was like his first script, and it was like Ryan's first real feature to direct. And they were like, well, what do we do for like talent stuff? I was like, oh, I'll just hit up some of my friends. And they're like, what about like locations? I was just like, I'll take care of it. I'll figure it. I did. And it's one of those things where I don't look at what the costs are sometimes. But I was like, oh yeah, we can do this. And we did it we paid everybody SAG rates. It was 90% of the people in the movie we didn't like have much open casting. It was just like friends of friends, you know, kind of like how I said, you know, you find the shortcuts, you know. It was my buddy Sandy Danto played the lead in it. He's a really funny comic, looks like John Belushi, and so it's about a stand-up comedian who's past his prime and doesn't realize it yet. And it's kind of a dark show. It's kind of a dark one, like well, my point was, so yeah, we didn't. Most people do movies for like, you know, $100,000, $200,000. We did it for I think $18,000, just because we paid everybody SAG rates. We do things like we would shoot in a restaurant like between like after their lunch rush and before their dinner rush, and we would just scramble through a set, you know, and just when they were down, and we'd buy a bunch of food and feed everybody, and they were like, all right, cool, we're making money, we're getting to shoot our thing, cool, and it's a dope movie, I won't lie, and it took forever because we were like a lot of the editing and the sound and colorization.
How long was it?
90 minutes.
Okay.
It's a regular ass movie.
Nice.
Regular length movie. Sorry,
right.
And
full length feature.
Full length feature. Yeah, so I'm a filmmaker.
Right. Well, you said you actually mentioned that it won some film festivals.
Yeah. We that's the hard thing is getting it into film festivals because it's a first time director, it's a first time writer.
No clout.
Yeah, it's not like Michael Bay or it's not like we had Daniel Day-Lewis or Denzel Washington in this thing. You know, but we had talented people, but we didn't have names, you know, and so it was hard to even get anybody to look at it. And we finally found this guy near San Jose, and it was called the Diamond in the Rough Film Festival, and it was like, oh, that's perfect. And he looked at it. It was just like, oh snap, this is what I want, you know. And he had they had over 200 submissions for his film festival. Some of them were shorts, some of them were features. And we went up to it. It was in September, late September. It was first film festival we were in and we won it.
Wow.
And we were like, it was just like a breakthrough. It was just like that kind of validation.
Absolutely.
It was.
I mean, you guys built it.
Yeah, and we didn't do it and we owned it. We own it still.
Wow.
And the three of us, you know, own it. Nick, Ryan, and you know, they called in their connections. I called in my connections. We kind of came together like Voltron, like the Wu-Tang Clan, and kind of
fucking Power Rangers, fucking Mighty Morphin.
We sent out the bat signal and it freaking got answered, you know, and so right now we just got into they're screening it in. It's called Rehoboth Beach Film Festival. Is the next one, I think. That's in Maryland or Delaware, excuse me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna I'm looking to do a screening here in LA, just because so many people that were in it haven't got the chance to even see it, and we got to get some more critics to look at it, and we're trying to, you know, we want distribution of it. We want to get it out there, and it's been a labor of love, man. It's been a challenge, but it's like so rewarding, and it was just like I had a joke, you know, LA won't. I'm not even looking for validation in LA. I just want validation for my parking, and you know, and it was like just those little, you know, it's nice to be someone go, oh yeah, that was dope. And it was just like it wasn't like somebody that was your friend that told you that, you know.
Exactly.
That's
when it really means the most.
Yeah, like somebody who
That's how you know if it's real.
Sincere, yeah. And, somebody who doesn't know you. It's just like, wow, that's some hot shit, you know?
Right.
I'm like, well, thank you very much.
Right.
Yeah, that's, yeah. Well...
So what's the title of the flick? Where can people check it out?
Funny Fat Guy. It's they can't check it out yet. I know.
Get it up on Netflix, man.
Yeah, but I'd love to.
Talk to Hulu, man.
No, yeah, we'll get
on Fire Stick.
We'll make a bit of bidding war against us. You know, something. I don't know the distribution side of stuff, so that's something I'm learning. My thing right now is trying to get to the awards and trying to get good reviews of it.
Right, nice.
And I mean, it would be easy if I.
What type of, what is it? It's like a humor.
It's funny, but it's like a comedic drama, dark comedic drama.
Dark?
It's dark. It's not. It's
not dark.
It's,
now, there's different levels to that. Like,
yeah.
Dark, do you mean like you're gonna see some crag usage or something like that, or dark in the sense of like, there's spirits and?
Oh no! There's no like
craft.
Yeah, it's not like Patrick Swayze comes back in Ghost or anything like that. But no, no, it's not a.
Or are we talking
it's not like oh, good lord! It's not a feel good movie. It's not. I mean, it's not like one of those where you're like, I don't know how to say it. You see
inspired.
You see guys struggle. You see guys struggle. Someone told me it was like Taxi Driver, the Robert De Niro flick from the 70s, and I was just like, oh wow. And that was the one of our first reviews said it was like gritty, like Taxi Driver, and because it's you see a guy having so much, getting beat down so much, not like physically beaten down, but yeah.
Oh yeah. No doubt. That's deep.
So yeah, it was a really good script. Nick Snowden wrote a really good script. Ryan, he's a freaking magician. It's weird, and I'm pretty good at what I do. I mean, I'm in it for like a second, but I was more about getting the thing done as opposed to making a name for myself.
Right.
But yeah, my name is Matt Lewis. Thank you.
But hey, that's how you make a name for yourself. You know what I mean?
And that's what some of the guys like some of the guys I respect the most, like Jay-Z. You know, he kind of did that Big Daddy Kane, kind of rapping, and then he kind of flamed out, and because he wasn't doing his thing.
Right.
And then him and Damon Dash, they were selling records out of their car, out of their trunk, and obviously they had talent,
right.
And it's just that's one thing. That was one of the stories that inspired me. Master P, who I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of.
Hey, you know what? That's crazy. When you mention Jay-Z, in my head, I think Master P. I'm like, he's not gonna mention Master P. It's not my thing. But Master P, I love rap, but I'm not a big Southern rap guy. But that's how he did it. He's like, oh, everybody wants East Coast this, West Coast that. What about what I can do? Right.
And he had an audience for it, and he's. And he's living in a mansion, and he's doing his thing, and if somebody ain't gonna knock on your door, you go knock on theirs.
Right, exactly.
There's other movies like that, like Sling Blade with Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah,
great. Wait, no, you're talking about with.
If you like Sling Blade, you probably like our movie.
No, Sling Blade. You're not.
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton. Some people say call it a Sling Blade. He was like playing like a handicap guy.
No, that's not Billy Bob. That's Hanks.
That's a different movie. I'm thinking.
Sling Blade.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Right.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Right.
Swingers with John Favreau and Vince Vaughn. They made that movie on their own. And Vince Vaughn still acts.
You think Ice Cube makes good movies?
I mean, Friday is.
Well, yeah. I mean, does Ice Cube? Of course he does.
Yeah. Well, but I got a story about Ice Cube. Quick. Okay. Oh, sorry. So when I was youngest, I was still a lot of rap. I went to a racially mixed high school, and so I played football, and so it was just one of those things where we listened to hip hop. And it was like Ice Cube's death certificate was out at the time, and I remember one time my dad had his friends over, and I was in the shower and I blared Ice Cube, but I don't remember which one it was. Say Hi to the Bad Guy, and he came out. My dad's friends looked horrified, and so it was just one of those things where he was embarrassed by.
At this time, gangster rap was not.
Yeah,
And then, so flashback to a couple years ago, I had some of my friends in town. I was in Tulsa, and some of my friends were over, and we walked in on my dad watching Are We There Yet, and enjoying it. And
I thought that was a good movie.
Well, it was corny. It was corny, and it was a good movie, but
right.
And it was just one of those ones where he was embarrassed to be seen watching, and I was just.
Was he really?
It was just like no, it was Are We Done Yet? Because it was it was the Home Improvement one because he's a big Home Improvement guy. Anyway, but it was just one of those weird things. It was just this circle of stuff, you know. But the NWA movie, I went straight out of Compton. I saw that the night it opened. It was like a sing along whenever they started, whatever they do, you know, F the Police,
right,
and just Boys in the Hood and that kind of. It was because I've been to musicals before. But I didn't expect the theater to turn into a musical, and it was dope, man. We were there at like midnight the night it opened. Me, two comedians, Christine Taylor, Johnny LaQuasto, and we ran into other comics that were there too. And it was just because like I knew so much of the story, but I didn't know. But there was so much I didn't know either.
Right.
And Ice Cube makes great movies, man. Well, Three Kings I really liked. Friday I loved. They kind of ran that into the ground with next Friday and Friday after next. I mean, but you know, you got to make the money. I don't blame you.
Right. I mean, we still want another one.
It'll sell.
Last Friday, where it's at.
It'll sell. I mean, oh man.
Yo, man, we're a little pressed for time, so I just want to, follow up with these last few questions.
Yes. I'm a talker.
How important is giving back to the community for you?
I absolutely. Yeah, no worries. I think. I was fortunate. I was fortunate the way I was brought up. That it was something that was told to me. Like you're not doing this on your own, stupid. You're getting some leg ups people aren't having. I was fortunate to have a dad with a good job and a mom who was able. They were able to provide, and some people don't have that. So that's one of the things I like to do. Like last Thanksgiving, this couple weeks ago. They give out they serve Thanksgiving dinner at the Laugh Factory. I got the opportunity to do that, and that was a lot of people. A lot of people,
pictures from that?
I don't know if I do. I got one picture, but they do like 3 shows. They from 1 o'clock on, 1, 5, and 8, and it's a lot of people that don't have anywhere. If they don't have any friends or anything, or don't have family around, they can go there. People that don't have homes can go there, and the owner's just like, don't give me any money. If you want to donate something to a charity, And I'll make money. He's like, I'll make money the other 360 days a year.
Right.
Don't worry about me, And they have like turkey dinners, and you see like big name comics will do a show for the people that come out, and it's just
dope.
Yeah. And another thing I do, I haven't been as active with it because I haven't been in town as much. But my friend's place. That's the name of the place. It's called My Friend's Place. It's awesome. It's a homeless youth. Like ages 15 to 25, I think, drop-in center. It's in Hollywood, and one of the things they provide showers and like food, meals, and like clean clothes,
hygiene kits,
exactly, toothbrushes, stuff, and ways to get because your identity, your license back, or that kind of thing, Social Security card. Because you can't get a job with some stuff. You can't go through some parts of the system. You can't get some benefit, and they have counseling available, and it's just like. And some of these kids, they're busting their ass, and they just get them off of the street for like 2 or 3 hours where they can just relax and not have to think about everybody around them, keep their head on a swivel like a linebacker playing for the Chicago Bears, and just live. Like what I have
where they can be.
Yeah, a place where they can feel comfortable, like where I take it for granted sometimes, where I was just like, oh, I'm going to sit on my couch and watch TV.
Right.
It's nice to do that, tune out for a second.
It's a privilege.
They show movies, and and it's just one of those things. Really good people there. If you ever get an opportunity, check that place out, myfriendsplace.org. They do benefits and stuff like that, and they do comedy shows actually for benefits. So it's cool. Awesome. That's one of the things I'm a big believer in. If you have the opportunity to do it, do it. Right. And if you don't, tell somebody else to do it.
Right. No.
Yeah.
All right. So, what positive, encouraging words do you have for aspiring comedians who want to make it?
I've seen everybody bomb. I've seen everybody you love. I've seen them bomb. So don't let one shut down, get you down.
Right.
I've seen I'm not gonna say who, but like I've seen comics you've seen on TV. Their jokes the first time they tell a new joke fall flat,
Right.
and they're like, "What? You know? Don't you know I'm on Comedy Central? You know?"
Right.
But so you don't even sweat your failures or your not perfect ones are part of the process.
Absolutely.
And if it's worth working for, it's worth working for. That's what I would have to say.
No doubt.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So where can people, check you out, keep up to date with you?
See, I got I have a website that I need to update. It's called Matt is Funny, MattisFunny.com. And Instagram, it's Mateo Lewis, MateoLeWis. Follow me on that. I post some funny stuff, some weird stuff, but whatever. Let's see. Twitter. I'm a tweeter. How old am I? Good Lord. Matt is Funny. Facebook. It's Facebook.com. The Matt Lewis.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of a smart ass because it's like
V with 2 E's?
No, like the Matt Lewis.
Okay.
Like because if you look up Matt Lewis, you Google him. There's a guy from the Twilight movies.
Oh, really?
He's the biggest Matt Lewis, and then there's a guy on MSNBC, like political
damn.
correspondent.
Oh,
so
shit.
I got one of those generic names, which is good and bad. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's 84 Michael Taylors in Pasadena right now.
Right.
You know. Damn,
84?
Yeah, well, whatever, you know. Maybe,
Right,
maybe
I feel
maybe a few Michaels.
Or more or less.
Yeah, Michelangelos, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, just go. If you want it, get it,
Right.
and don't wait for other people to give it to you. Bust your ass, work hard. Yeah, work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard.
No doubt. All right, Matt, man, it's been awesome. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for taking the time for this exclusive interview with the Wilson Block.
My pleasure. Wilson Block 626.
Thank you. If you got any shout-outs, let's hear them.
Shout out to Virginia Jones. She's putting me on her show tonight in South Pass. I don't know. Too many. My father, my mother who passed away. I can't do this, man. To you for putting me on. Thank you.
No.
Thank you, Taylor.
Yes, sir. All right, Wilson Block 100 Radio, son. It's been an exclusive with comedian Matt Lewis, and I rhymed that on accident, but it's all good. Wilson Block 100 Radio, son. We out.